Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. For today's class, you're just going to need a dish towel and we're going to fold it so that it is folded long ways and then long ways again. And you're just going to put it towards the top of your mat. We're going to come to lay down onto it so that it's right underneath your ribs, kind of at the bottom of your shoulder blades, more or less. This class has a lot of flexion and a lot of extension, so if you are looking to avoid either of those, that is not the class for you. But there are plenty more with limited extension and flexion available. Hope you enjoy. So you're gonna lay all the way back and then just take a second to get there, and you'll have it somewhere towards the tips of your shoulder blades or even on the very top of your bottom set of ribs, whichever one is more comfortable. And then lay your head all the way down. And just let your head be heavy. And let your hands come down onto the floor. You have a ponytail, move it out of the way. And then just start here on the ground with the towel underneath your shoulder blades or back ribs. And take a nice big inhale. And then exhale. Feel yourself settle into the mat and that towel. And then take another big inhale, but this time think about your ribs expanding outwards to the side and then also back into the towel itself. And then exhale. Feel your ribs start to draw together, your abdominals engage gently, and another breath in. Ribs pressing into that towel, using it for a little bit of feedback, and then exhale. Feel the ribs close, the abdominals engage, and then also a slight lift of your pelvic floor. One more breath here. And exhale. Good. And then from here, you're just going to bring your hands onto your hips and your ribs. So you're going to have your thumbs on your bottom of your ribs and your fingertips on your hip bones. And as you take a big inhale, you're going to stay still, and on your exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, gently press your low back into the floor as you bring the distance between your ribs and your hips closer. And then on your inhale, release back to that neutral pelvis. And then exhale, draw your hips up towards your ribs. Your arms can come down by your side if that's more comfortable. And exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Good. Two more like this. Really feeling your ribs staying connected to that towel in the back. And release. One more time. And then from here, you're going to tip your tailbone the other direction. So think about your pubic bone getting a little bit weighted, and you're lifting the ribs away, or the hips away from the ribs, and your back will arch. But those back ribs are still pressing into the mat as you come back to neutral. And then again, find that little arch. You can think about pouring a little bit of sand or a little bit of extra weight into your pubic bone if that's helpful. And then return back to neutral one more time with that little arch, and then we'll combine them. And then back to center. So now you're gonna inhale, staying still. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under. And then on your inhale, tip that weight into your pelvis. Finding a little arch, and then on your exhale, you're tucking the tailbone under. If you prefer to do this in the opposite breath, by all means do what works better for you. And into that arch. Again, keeping your upper ribs pressed. So this is really just motion through the pelvis. You're not lifting your hips off the ground. You can find a little bit of tension in the backs of your legs if that helps, pressing into the floor. And last one, find that tilt away, and then find that pelvic tilt towards you. And then from here, keeping yourself in that pelvic tilt, you're going to bring your right knee into your chest, and then your left knee so that you're in a nice rounded position here, and just rock back and forth gently from one side to the other. Good. And then you're going to lower your right leg and lower your left leg. And then you're going to take that towel out from underneath you, but keep it folded more or less the same way. And now you're going to bring it back behind your head so that it is wrapped around the base of your skull and over the tips of your ears, like the very tops of your ears, and then just lay all the way down and let your arms come out to the side. So just relaxing here with your chest nice and open. Think about reaching wide through the elbows, and then keep reaching wide as you bring your elbows towards the ceiling without closing off through your chest. And then again, open the arms nice and wide. Keep thinking that that towel, even though it's gone, is still underneath your back ribs, so you're pressing them into the floor. Maybe you feel a little bit more heaviness there than you did if you had previously laid down on the ground this morning. And one more time. Again, think about finding that opening through the chest and not just scrunching as you bring those elbows in. Keep the elbows pointed up towards the ceiling, and then from here, nod your chin, and then lift your head, neck, and shoulder blades right gently off the floor. And then slowly release down. And then curl the neck and lift. Think about sliding the ribs towards those hips. And back up. And down. Your head should be nice and heavy in the towel. 2 more. And last one. Pause here. Think about pressing the head back, creating a little bit more length through the back of the neck. And then you're just going to lower all the way back down. Keep that length as you lower all the way down. And then you're going to let your arms come back wide to the side. If you want to let go of the towel and come into more of a goalpost arms position, you can do that too, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then from here, you're going to lift your right leg up into tabletop. And then tap that right leg down. And then lift the right leg. And if this is too hard for you to keep your ribs on the ground or to keep a little connection in the front of your ribs, just bring your arms by your side. This does make it a little bit harder. And lift. Keeping yourself in a nice neutral spine here, floating that right leg up and down. 2 more. And last one. And then lower your right leg all the way down, switching to the left side. Trying to keep that weight nice and even between the right and the left hip. Again, backwards still press into the floor. You may find you need to press a little bit more through the right rear side of your rib cage. I can feel that wanting to pull off the ground. 2 more. And last one. Lower your left leg all the way down. Go ahead and grab back onto that towel. Reach long through the elbows. Wrap the elbows up towards the ceiling. Again, keeping that space in the front and back of your chest. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. Head is heavy in the towel. And then float the right leg up. And lower down. We're going to alternate sides. Now the left leg's going to lift. And down. Make sure you're not starting to pull your head forward. You want to keep it nice and heavy in that towel. And check down at your abdominals. Are they starting to puff up towards the ceiling as you lift your head or your legs? If so, you can lower your head all the way down. And just make sure that you're breathing either way, regardless of what you're doing with your head. Make sure you are breathing as you move. Again, head is heavy. This time we're going to leave our right leg in the sky. Seal. Yep. And then take a big inhale, and on your exhale, float that left leg up to meet it. We're going to do the same thing, marching here, just in the opposite direction, adding on a little challenge, keeping the other leg in the air. Again, head is heavy. A little lift through that pelvic floor. Think about your ribs drawing through your hips. 2 more to each side. You can always drop a heel towards your butt or just make your range of motion a little smaller. Last one to each side. Good, and then bring the knees all the way in. Lower the head and take the towel out from behind your head. And then from here, you're going to keep your knees in tabletop. And your arms are going to come right over your shoulders. And then just check in, make sure that 1, your arms aren't hyperextended, and 2, that you're not broken at the wrists. You're reaching your knuckles long towards the ceiling, or if it's helpful, just reach your fingertips straight up and keep the towel between your index and thumb. You're gonna let that towel come back overhead. Nothing changes in the low body, and then lift the arms back up. And when I say nothing changes in the low body, I mean nothing changes anywhere. Back ribs are still heavy. Keeping your chest nice and wide, your neck tight, slightly tucked, and lift back up. 2 more. Feel a little bit of the deepening of the abdominals as you bring the arms back up. Last one. Good. Pause here with the hands straight up again, and then curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach the towel towards your shins, and then lower all the way back down. And then lift up, press down through the upper body, and lower down. 3 more. And down. 2. And last one, hold the head, neck, and shoulders up. Lower the right leg down, lower the left leg down. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up about an inch higher. Try to get those shoulder blades off the mat. And then take a big inhale and start to pulse your arms for the 100th. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keep pressing down through your arms. Inhale, one more time like this. And exhale. Now you're going to extend your right leg long. Inhaling for 2. Not 2, for 5. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time on the right leg. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg lowers, left leg extends. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more breaths on the left. Inhale. And exhale. Keep curling up, reaching those shoulders, or ribs rather, towards the hips. Last one. Exhale. And if you feel comfortable, you're going to extend both arms, both legs, up towards the ceiling if you need. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower them an inch if you can. Inhale and exhale. Last one. And exhale. Pause and hold. Reach a little bit more towards your toes. Bend the knees in. Grab the shins with the towel and come all the way in. I think it's been like a solid year plus since I've done 100, so it was fun. Sorry. Also, I guess you're welcome. All right, so from here, you're gonna lift your arms straight up towards the ceiling, knees come back to tabletop. You're gonna extend your arms, extend your legs, and then you're gonna bend at your knees, straighten your arms towards your shins or ankles as you curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. So lower your head, everything extends. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders, come all the way up. Extend and lower the head, and back up. 2 more like this. And in. Again, find length through the backs of the legs, keeping that neck nice and long. Here, you're gonna keep your head, neck, and shoulders up as you extend the arms and legs. Curl everything in. Again, only going so far overhead that you're not popping through the ribs. It feels comfortable. You don't have extra weight in your neck. 2 more. Extend. Exhale, bring it in. Last one. Good, and then come all the way in again. Grab onto your ankles. Pull them all the way in towards your chest. And then go ahead and release your towel off to the side for a second. You're gonna place your feet on the ground. Have them as wide as your mat. And then you're just gonna windshield wiper your legs from one side to the other. Take a few deep breaths. If it feels comfortable to let your rib cage lift or your shoulder, whatever feels good for you here. 1 more time to each side. Good, and then from here, grab that towel again. Reach those arms up towards the ceiling. You're gonna bring your right leg up into tabletop, just your right leg. And you're gonna curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and reach the fingertips towards the arms. From here, extend your right leg and then reach long through your left toes, extend your left leg. You're gonna keep your arms right where they are and you're just gonna switch your legs, trying to bring your shin all the way or almost all the way to that towel. Keep breathing here, reaching long through your bottom leg. If you wanna do this with bent knees, it looks just the same, through the thigh. And regardless of what's happening with your lower leg, really just think about what's happening through the thigh and through the abdominals. 2 more. Keep breathing. Make your range of motion smaller if it's too challenging. Last one with the right leg. Last one with the left leg. And again, bring the knees all the way into your chest. And then this time, keep your knees still, but rock your head right and left. One more time to each side. Good. And then from here, you're going to lower your left leg, bring your towel off to the side or behind your head, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to leave my hands behind my head. And then curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. And then bring that knee right over your hip on the right side. And then you're going to twist up and over, bring your left ribs towards your right hip, and then back to the center. And then twist up and over, and back to the center. 4 more. 3. If you can have both shoulders stay off the ground the whole time, that's awesome. If you're not there yet, or you're never there, also cool. Definitely not there today. Last one. Pause here, keep that rotation. Extend the right leg and then bend it back in. And extend the leg and bend back in. And really feel the resistance as you bend that leg back in. 3 more. Again, try to get that right shoulder blade off the mat if you can. 2. Last one. Good. Bend the knee in and rotate your torso to the center. And then extend the leg as you twist. And then bend and rotate to the center. And extend and twist. And bend and center. 2 more. Same thing, left rib towards your right hip. And center. Good. Twist and rotate with that knee bent. And then you're going to come to the center as you extend the leg long and twist for 6. Last set here. 5. 4. Neck is nice and long. Heavy in the hands or the towel. 3. 2. And last one. Good. And then bend the knee in. Lower that right leg down. Lift the left leg up. Knee right over your hip. Shin in line with the ceiling. And then twist and rotate over towards the left. Again, making sure you're initiating your breath before you move. Head is heavy. 3 more. 2, right rib over to the left hip. Last one, stay twisted here. Extend the left leg and bend it in for 7. 6. Make sure your abs are not puffing up towards the ceiling. 2. And last one. Good. Rotate yourself towards the ceiling. You're going to twist as you extend that leg for 6. Center as you bend. 5. 4. 3. And then we're going to switch. 2. And last one. Good. Now bend while the knee is bent, or twist while the knee is bent. Extend the leg as you twist, or untwist, and bend and twist. And center. Bend and twist. And center. Make sure your chin isn't pressing into your chest. 3 more. 2. And last one. Bend that knee into your chest. And then extend your right leg long. Bring your knee all the way in. You can roll your ankle around a little. And then from here, you're going to curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach long through that right leg. And then switch. Reach long through the left. And switch. And switch. Think about your abdominals gently descending away from your thigh. For 3. 2. Last one. Bend that right knee into your chest. Lower all the way down. Reach long through that left leg. Let it come all the way to the floor. Think about a hand, a brick, a block, a blanket, something on that left thigh to think about grounding that leg down towards the floor to give you a little bit more of a stretch. Release or reverse your circles. And then reach long through that left leg. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Bring the hands behind the head. Twist to the right leg and bicycle. And a full bicycle twist. and twist. Going nice and slow here. No reason to go quick. It may be easier. Good. One more time to each side. Last time to the right, last time to the left, and then bring the knees all the way in, and then bring your arms to a cactus or all the way out to a T, and then just let them fall over to one side. And we're now done with flexion. No more flexion today. That feels like it was probably enough. All right, and then up and over towards the other side. Good, and then come all the way over and around onto your stomach. And you're gonna put the towel out in front of you. And if you have a surface like a hardwood floor or anything, I mean, even a carpet will work. If you're on a carpet, you probably don't really need the towel. But have yourself right towards the top end of your mat either way so that your arms can be off when extended long. I'm just gonna leave the towel folded, but you can unfold it all the way if you want. You're gonna lay down on your stomach and first just let your arms come overhead and give your hips a little shake, releasing through that low back just a little bit more. Your legs can be nice and long. They can be externally rotated if that's comfortable, or they can just be in a neutral position. But either way, they're gonna be about as wide as your mat, somewhere between as wide as your mat and a little bit wider than hip distance. And your arms are slightly wider than shoulder distance overhead. You're gonna let your forehead come to the ground, and you're gonna let your arms creep away from you and let your shoulders come up towards your ears as much as comfortable. Like, just let it happen naturally. Don't try to force them up. And then from here, you're gonna press into the pinky side of your hand and start to feel your arms externally rotate. And even though the shoulders are up towards your ears, you're still getting a little bit more space. From here, you're gonna press down into the floor and then start to slide those hands back and feel your shoulders slide down, shoulder blades slide down your back. And then again, just let your arms go neutral, reach them all the way up. And then externally rotate, find that space a little bit more on the pinky sides of your hands, and then pull the towel back. And then let them come neutral one more time, press into the pinky side, find that space, and slide your shoulder blades back, creating a little bit of space. Relax your arms last time, but this time we're gonna move. So starting with that external rotation, press into the floor. Start to slide your shoulder blades down your back. When they're in a nice neutral position, start to lengthen through the front of the body, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders. Pause here, pressing your hands still down into the ground. And your gaze will be somewhere between your towel and your mat. And then think about pressing your hip bones and your pubic bone into the floor and drawing your abdominals gently away from the ground. Just taking a breath, making sure they're not pressing hard into the floor. And then from here, you're just gonna lengthen yourself all the way back down. Think about your nose touching a little bit farther away from your toes than it was when you picked it up. And then again, press down through the hands, lengthen through the front of the body. Abs are not aggressively pressing into the floor. Touching, yes. Pressing, no. And then slide yourself all the way back down. And then again, a little bit more pressure still in that outside edge of the hand. Pause here. You're gonna slide the elbows in and then slide them out. And slide them in and out. Feeling this from shoulder blades, the armpits. You're cleaning your floor a little, sorry. And out, last one. Neck is nice and long. Lengthen your arms all the way. Press down into the floor and see if you can lift up just an inch higher. From here, you're gonna float your right arm up and lower down. Left arm up and lower down. If you need to lower down and do this at half height, by all means do so. You can even lay all the way down. It's just great trying to get the arm to move on your back. One more time to each side. Last one. And then lengthen and lower all the way down. Bring your head to one side and give your hips a little shake. And then from here, you're gonna press down into those arms, come up halfway. You're gonna lengthen through the right leg so much that that leg just floats off the ground. If your thigh is still on the floor, totally fine. Lower it all the way down. Same thing through the left, lift and lengthen. Think like you're trying to touch the wall behind you and find length through the hip flexor. And to the left. One more time to each side. Last one. And then lengthen yourself all the way back down. You can bring your cheek back to the ground and give your hips a little shiver, whatever. Just wiggle is what I was looking for. And then last time, coming up into that extension, find whatever height is comfortable for you. And then you're gonna reach both legs long, float both legs up, lower the legs and lower the torso halfway. Reach and lift, abdominals are drawn in, ribs towards one another. Lengthen and lift. 4 more. Make sure you're breathing. 3, 2, good, last one. And then lower yourself all the way down. You can make a little pillow for your head. Bend at the knees, and then bring the knees a little bit wider, and then just windshield wiper, your legs from one side to the other. We're gonna do one more thing here on our stomachs before we move on. Knees are nice and wide. You're gonna flex your feet so the soles of your feet are up towards the ceiling, and then glue your heels together. Forehead is resting on your hands, which are stacked one on top of the other. And you're just going to squeeze your heels, find the lift of your pelvic floor, hips stay on the ground, and you're gonna think about planting the soles of your feet on the ceiling. So you're gonna feel an intense squeeze of the butt and then lower back down. If you just squeeze and think about lifting and don't actually get the thighs off the floor, that's great as well. Just really think of the squeeze of the heels kind of helping to initiate that lift of the pelvic floor and a little squeeze of your butt. 5 more. Again, ribs are closed. 3, make sure you're relaxed through the upper body. 2, and last one. Good, lengthen the legs all the way out. Again, one last shift of the hips from one side to the other. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lengthen long through the crown of your head, and then press yourself back up into a nice wide-kneed child's pose here. Reach your heels back towards your sitting bones. Arms are nice and long. Take a few deep breaths, feeling yourself breathe into your upper back and mid-back for that matter. Last one. Good, and then come into all fours. Knees right underneath your hips. We're gonna do a little cat-cow to start, so tuck the tailbone under, feel the hips draw up towards the ribs, round your spine up towards the ceiling, and then uncurl your spine, find a little length. And then again, tuck the tailbone under, round, drop the head. You can give the head a little shake. And then find length through the front of your body, staying supported through your core, not just dropping to the ground. And then curl the tailbone under, round up. Last one, find that extension. And then come into a nice neutral position here. You're gonna let your head be nice and long, and then let your shoulder blades slide towards one another on your back, and then press straight up. So your arms are staying straight, not hyperextended though. And you're just dropping your sternum towards the ground and then pressing away. So you're finding that support through the shoulder girdle. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Good. And then from here, you are going to walk your hands slightly farther in front of you. And then you're going to shift your weight forward. So you're in a modified kneeling plank, or you can come all the way into a kneeling plank, whatever you prefer. Either way, you're going to find that gentle tuck of the hips so that your hips are wrapping up toward your abdominals. You're nice and supported. Head is nice and long. You're going to bend your elbows halfway and then all the way up. And then halfway down, so you're doing like a quarter push-up here. Down and lift. Keeping your sternum nice and lifted. You're not dropping through the head. You're not doing push-ups with your neck. Your whole body is lowering. And again, you can also be here. 2 more. Last one. So now we're gonna come down almost all the way to a full push-up and then stop halfway up and go halfway down. Halfway up and down. We're only doing 8, 7. We have 3 more. 2. And last one. Press all the way up. Sit back to your heels if you need. Reset yourself. And then find your nice modified plank position here. And then we're going to do a full range of motion, but we're going to stop a quarter of the way down. So you're going to come halfway down, or a quarter of the way, and then half, and then up. I guess a half push-up, a full push-up, and then up. 5 more. 5. Exhale on your press up. Again, your head is not dropping before your body. Your abdominals are coming with you. 2 more. Elbows are gently pointed back behind you. Last one. And then lower yourself all the way back into a nice child's pose. And then from here, come into all fours one more time. Left hand behind your head. Open up towards the ceiling and then reach your arm long and then thread it through your underneath your right side. I forgot to plug the computer in. 1 second. Good. Staying here. Take a few more breaths in that nice rotation. One more breath here. And then press into your right hand. Come all the way up. And then opposite side. So start with your right hand behind your head. Open up towards the right side and then extend that right arm. And then thread it through, letting your shoulder and your ear come towards the ground. Left arm can lower down as well. Taking a couple of breaths. Good, and then come back square into your tabletop. And then you're gonna come down onto your forearms and we're gonna start with our left leg. So you're in a nice neutral spine here and you're gonna extend your left leg out behind you and then float it straight up, reach it long, and then tap it down. And then lift and lower. So your foot is staying in line with your sitting bone. So when your leg is lifted from your toes to your head, you are one nice long line. Abs are staying gently lifted. Ribs are wrapped. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one, leave that leg lifted, bend it in, bend the knee, flex the foot, and then press it up towards the ceiling like we were doing those little frogs before on our stomachs. But here you are just finding that length through the thigh, through the hip flexor, and placing just the one leg up. Your knee is still in line with your hip for 3, 2, last one. Good. Keep your leg bent. You can relax your foot a little. And then you're going to externally rotate, bring your knee towards the floor, and then bring it down, bring it to neutral, and lift it up. So you're doing like a little knee hip circle. I think the formal name for this is hip cars or something, which never made any sense to me. But anyway, and around, and up. 2 more. Last one. Pause at the bottom, and then up, around, and down. So really moving your femur through all the places in your hip socket as you go from external rotation to neutral. 2 more. And last one. Good. Lower that knee down. And then you're going to extend that leg long one more time. Float it up. And then you're going to take your right foot and you're going to bring it more towards the right side of your mat. And then your right forearm is going to come perpendicular to the long end of your mat. And you're going to find yourself open in a little modified side plank here. Holding at the top. And then you're going to lower your hips all the way down to the floor. Keep that left leg long. Again, shift yourself however you need. I ended up being a little cramped. Lift that left arm up towards the ceiling, left leg rather is still long. You're gonna tap it down and lift it up for 8, 7, 6, 5, staying in a nice neutral spine. 3, 2, last one. Leave that leg long or place it on the floor, whichever you prefer. And you're gonna lift into a little modified side plank and then tap your hips down. So if your leg is long, you're just lifting from that knee. And up. Really pressing away, lifting the bottom ribs from the floor so you're not collapsing. 3 more. 2. And last one. Hold here. You can drop that leg down if you'd like, whatever modification you're taking, or you can straighten the bottom leg and lift all the way up into a full side plank. Reach up through the left arm. You're gonna reach your left arm underneath, rotate, and then lift back up. And again, you can do this in any of the modified variations as well. For 3, only 5 here. 2, and lengthen, last one. And then lower your hips all the way down, bend your knees into the side, and then reach long through your right fingertips, straight up towards the ceiling. Find length here, and then side bend up and over to the left side. So you're not completely collapsing. Relax your shoulder, and then we will come back to all fours. Change directions here. We'll just do one cat-cow and then come down onto our forearms. Curl the tailbone under, round the spine up towards the ceiling. Come into a nice gentle extension, and then find your nice neutral spine, and then from here, come down to all fours. You're gonna extend that right leg long, and then just float it up, and then tap it back down. Really think about lengthening through the front of the hip, lifting from the back of the leg, keeping those abs away from the floor, pressing into your shoulders, and your hips are square. You want to make sure you're not dipping and that your weight isn't all the way over to the left. Use that right arm to help stabilize you. 3 more. 2. Last one, keep it lifted, flex the knee, flex the foot, and then press it straight up for 10. 9, small movement. 8, you're not really coming much below hip flexion. For 4, 3, 2. Last one, externally rotate, bring the knee down to neutral and then back up. It's those little hip car things. Again, your foot doesn't need to be pointed or flexed. Last one. And then at the bottom, you're gonna reverse your direction and pause. You're gonna pause and then reverse your direction. Words are hard. 3 more. 2. That leg almost gets a break. Last one. Bring the knee down. Bring yourself over to one side of your mat if you need. Extend the right leg long. Make that little kickstand with your left leg. Left arm comes parallel to the short end of your mat and open yourself up into that side plank. You can drop your hips down and just reset yourself. And then keep that arm reaching up towards the ceiling and lift and lower through your right leg. Again, hips are square to the front, shoulders are square, and your neck is in line. You don't want to be leaning back or like a little, some sort of bird. Or a human who spent too much time on the computer. 3, 2, and last one. Good, lower all the way down. We're gonna go into the little side plank lift. So again, foot can stay down or it can stay lifted, your choice. Also, you can do this in a full side plank on your forearm, whichever you prefer. 3, 2, Last one, hold. I'm gonna come into a full side plank, but you take whatever variation works for you, but this is one. And then you're gonna reach through for 5 and open. 4, just make sure you're coming to neutral. So you're not opening those hips up towards the ceiling nor your chest. 3, 2, last one. And then lower the hips, bring your knees over to the right side, and then reach your left arm out to the side and then straight up. Reach it up towards the ceiling and then come all the way over to the right. Take a few deep breaths. Good, and then lower all the way down. You are going to come onto all fours last time of the day. Find yourself in a nice supported all fours position. Tuck your toes under. You're gonna take a nice big inhale. Exhale, float those knees up. Find yourself in a nice bear plank here. Elbows are nice and soft. You're not hyperextending. Neck is reaching long, crown of the head away from you. Tailbone in the opposite direction. And then exhale, lower all the way down. One more time, inhale, lift, or exhale, lift. And then find yourself extending your right leg, extending your left leg, and coming into a full plank. Shift your weight slightly forward. Hips are right in line with your torso. And you can drop to your knees if you need. And from here, we're just gonna hold for 5, 4, neck is nice and long, gaze right at the top of your mat. 3, 2, last one, lift your hips up or come into a child's pose, whatever is more comfortable. And then bend your knees. Let your chest descend towards the floor. You can straighten your legs if that works for you. You can pedal out your feet, one and then the other. And then bend your knees down towards the floor. And then you're gonna bring your right foot in between your hands and then lift yourself up. If you want, put your towel under your knee. We're gonna stretch our hip flexors a bit. And then from here, tuck the tailbone under gently and then feel everything slide forward. Good. So your hips are still in line. You're not really arching your back at all. And then you're gonna extend your left arm straight up towards the ceiling and feel like from your knee through your hip flexor all the way up to the fingertips on that left side are getting a nice stretch. Two more breaths here. Relax your head, relax your shoulders. Last one. You can take a little side bend over to the right if that feels nice. One breath here. And then lower your arms all the way down. You can slide your knee back or you can just tuck your toes under and lift up through the knee, reaching the back leg up, back of the back leg up towards the ceiling, and then open yourself out towards the right and then tuck your right hip under so that you're nice and rotated. Again, you can do this with your leg down as well, whatever feels better on your body. And then lower yourself all the way down, drop that knee, and then switch sides. So your left leg will come forward now. And then gently lift yourself all the way up, tuck the tailbone under, and then gently come forward until you feel that hip flexor stretch. You can squeeze your butt a little as well if that helps you. And then reach those right fingertips straight up towards the ceiling. And then just take a few breaths here. Relax the shoulders. And if you'd like, you can add a little gentle side bend, but think that side bend again initiates all the way at the bottom of that leg through the hip, and then just the arm is kind of the weight to bring you over. And then drop your right hand down. You can lift that left leg if you want, and then you're gonna twist and rotate up and open towards the left, and then wrap that left hip around. One or two more breaths here. And then lower all the way down. And we will finish in a nice child's pose. So bring your knees nice and wide, toes touch. Walk your hands out and then press your hands into the floor as you bring your hips back. And then let your head rest on the ground, but keep pressing and active through your hands. Maybe think about pressing a little bit more through the pinky side if that helps open up through the shoulders. I know I get a nice stretch here then between my spine and my shoulder blades. And then walk your hands over to the left, reach long through the right fingertips and the right sitting bone. And then over to the right, lengthen through that left side, left fingertips away from your right or left sitting bone. And then come back through the center and then slowly round yourself all the way up. And you're all finished. Thanks.